Hi, I'm Shin, and this is my project home base. I wanted to feature the ash tree and looking at our ecology in relationship to our beloved American baseball. I was really struck by someone mentioning that the ash trees in particular was connected to baseball because of course they make baseball bats, and of course that was not something that was very obvious to me because I hadn't been following woodworking in that level or baseball, but when I understood that history was a spark, and so then I emerged with this idea of like, what if this absurd idea of a baseball field landing in this beautiful sculpture park, and that the art was both made of the natural wood here, that would be a memorial to this tree that is lost on site, but also then to connect it with a local love and obsession with baseball. We cited this work because we found this beautiful ash tree, and I'm in the canopy in the shade of this incredible ash tree that's healthy and thriving in the landscape. And so it was trying to move a literal distancing between a baseball diamond, the 90-foot space between first base, second, third, and fourth, and returning home. So we've reimagined that baseball field onto this beautiful sculpture park. And so my invitation is to reconsider how we use the land as we walk from first base to second, third, and fourth, is to look at these pavers, and instead of having this open, empty space, reimagining what it would mean if it was filled with a forest of trees, and particularly all the dead ash trees that have been long gone in the landscape, and how we really look at land use as well. So I think the idea for most people is to see this emptiness, but in fact this emptiness is filled with the geometry of the baseball game. And of course everyone knows what to do in a baseball game. So it's really nice to see that we can look at the stump, which is an artwork, and start at home base, and naturally you have this slow meditation to get to first, second, and third. And those other bases are really seats. So the artwork is an invitation to sit, to spend some time in nature with art, and to slow down. And I think part of it is the game of life tells us we just go, 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 but then we don't get to enjoy kind of being with art, being with nature, being with ourselves, also being in community. The traditional bats were made from ash trees because of its strength and resilience, its hardness, but it was also incredibly heavy, and so baseball players really specified that the sweet spot was to work with a traditional ash tree. Of course, now with endangered species, it's hard to find an unblemished tree and one that survived, that is the incredible characteristics that they're looking for. So the emerald ash borer has really been the cause of a lot of the threat to the ash tree. And I know that there's just a lot of conversation of being an invasive species, and whether that is a plant or an insect. We quickly blame the insect for it to be the problem, as opposed to taking accountability of our role in this kind of struggle that the ash trees are having. These beetles and plant lives weren't here, right? We brought them here, so in some way we are held accountable and should take responsibility of that, as opposed to victimizing yet something else that is actually doing its thing and being adaptive and surviving and thriving, right? What it's missing is the predators, right? So in a normal ecosystem, in their native habitat, they would not be a problem. They would not be a threat, because the predators would move on. So this respect for the larger ecosystem, that we're on one planet and we're interdependent on these species.